Back to Squigonomics. Today I'm talking about the new leaked question mark ready painted terrain from Warhammer Games Workshop today. They're calling it ready painted terrain. I've seen a lot of people call it pre-painted terrain, which would be my initial guess, but I've seen a lot of chatter and it really does look like UV printed terrain, less so than actually painted terrain, which we'll get into a little later. But looking at some of the images we'll go through throughout the video today, they look pretty good. There's a lot of varied colors. There's a lot of really nice colored details on there. They haven't released any high def renders. They did a single like cheeky leak video, which also had some interesting stuff going on in it, which we'll talk about in a second. There's lots of variety for this terrain in terms of the footprint, and it looks to me like the actual terrain pieces themselves are sat on some cardboard sheets that probably match the footprint of the new tournament standard map that they leaked. And if you're sharp-witted, you probably notice this little orc fellow in the top right corner there. That's the new Ork Warbiker that they just leaked. I just left my cursor in the middle of this thing, and I'm not even going to cut this part out of the video. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. New Ork Warbikers leaked in this video. In response to the leak of this terrain, they just leaked another one of their own models without a proper reveal. And here they are. They look really good. They look really good. The orcs themselves, something about the new like facial features of the orcs is so well designed in my opinion. It's very enticing. It makes me want to buy some. These bikes though, they just look phenomenal. And honestly, against that terrain, they do look pretty good. It's hard to notice the terrain itself when you're looking at it next to models like this. In terms of the actual quality of the terrain itself, it's Games Workshop plastic, so it's what we're used to. At least if you've got Games Workshop plastic terrain, it's really tough. It's a little heavy. It's very nice. But the ready painted terrain looks grainy, which I've seen a lot of people say is a byproduct of UV printing, which I'm kind of aligned with the Lego community. For anyone who is familiar with Legos pretty intimately, there's a big custom market online for UV printed Lego figures, and they often look a little grainy. The texture of the print isn't that consistent, sometimes a little desaturated, which I think I'm seeing here, especially when you just go in there and look at some of those details. You can see a visible texture, not within the model, but within the paint job on the model. It's kind of frustrating to me because it just looks it looks 3D printed, and I'm not part of the 3D printing community, but I just don't like the way that 3D prints really look on the table, just because of the layer lines, I think they're called. It just looks like layer lines to me in here, which it's not 3D printed. I'll show you guys the sprue in a second from the leaks. It's Games Workshop plastic. It's not 3D printed. It's UV printed. The actual design on it is UV printed onto the plastic terrain, if that makes sense. But it just looks a little grainy. I'm not a big fan of that. So here are the leaked images. I'm going to go one at a time, just kind of give you guys a little look. It is all brand new terrain. This isn't terrain that we already have. I think I've painted the newest 40k terrain kit, and this is not it, even though it's very similar. A lot of similar design aspects, which I like. But just taking a look at it, it does look really clean from like a tabletop distance, but the more that you kind of zoom in on the details, the more visible the weird texture and somewhat strange desaturation is. The lights look great though. I like the lights. That metallic red piping looks great. We'll move on to the next image. I don't really know where this leak came from. It's obviously not like a Games Workshop store box that you would buy this in. There's a lot of terrain. There's like a lot of stuff in here, which is a good thing or a bad thing depending on the price and in other factors that we'll get into. But a lot of flexibility, a lot of different footprints. They're not all the same size, some different size ruins, presumably to match that new tournament format that they announced a bit ago. And then this last one, it's just a piece of like small barricade type scatter terrain looking thing. And I think this image in particular really does kind of show that graininess, that slight desaturation. Recreating this paint job on an actual model, it would be difficult just because getting the colors desaturated to look this way using miniature paints would just be really difficult because miniature paints are often so color saturated, very vibrant, I suppose I'd say. I like the design of the terrain itself. It's very cool, lots of nice details. I'm just not necessarily sure that I'm digging the kind of aesthetic that they got going on with that print quality. So now, tell me if you guys see it. And when I saw it on the sprue, this was my biggest worry. And please, guys, tell me why is this my biggest worry of all the things in the world? I'm just counting down in my head. Do you see it? Do you guys see it? Do you guys see it? The clipping lines, the clipping marks. They come on the sprue painted, but obviously it's not colored plastic. So everywhere that you have to cut the plastic is just going to be a gray plastic clip nub sticking out. And you can't smooth it out with your X-Acto knife because you'll scrape the paint off of that element. You can't just cover it up with sprue goo because it won't match the color of the element there. You can't just paint over it because it doesn't have primer on it. It's kind of a whole thing for me. The mold lines are one thing. I could almost tolerate the mold lines. For my terrain, I just covered all the mold lines in sprue goo. It goes a long way just to smooth it out without doing all that extra scraping work. But this, you can't fix this easily. Like, that looks like a clip mark to me as well. I don't like that. This is electricity, and you're telling me there's gray plastic clipping marks in there? It just doesn't sit right with me. I just don't like it. So here it is. Every single part that you have to clip off of the sprue. Obviously the bottom doesn't matter, but all the edges, they're painted presumably. But every little bit that you clip off, which with the heavy duty Games Workshop terrain plastic, it's a lot of clipping spots that you have to go through. Like in this one alone, we're talking, oh man, I don't even want to count. 15, 20, I don't know why my mouse just did that. 15 or 20 different locations you have to clip on. Maybe half of them will be visible from the outside. But if you're like me and you're a little bit of a perfectionist about things like that, yeah, no, this is not for us. This is not for people like you and me. If you care about mold lines, clipping marks, things like that, I think it's got potential. But if you have the same attention to detail like I do, this is not for you. So who is this for? It does look pretty good at a tabletop distance. It's really just for people that want to play the game and have it feel good without doing the whole beer cans and toilet paper type terrain setup. They look good. If you just want to hop in there, you're like, you know what? I'm not a big hobby guy. I just got one combat patrol or like whatever. I just want to play my game. Sure, just buy this, whatever. It's great. Don't know if it's going to be worth whatever price hike that Games Workshop will presumably put on it, but maybe. I mean, it still looks like a good buy for somebody who just wants to play a game, presumably without all that hobby experience. They don't care if their models are painted or painted perfectly or whatever. Just kind of throwing it out there, playing your game. Game stores, I think, could probably benefit from having stuff like this around. My fear would be that the UV printing would be a Games Workshop like Warhammer online only purchase, which in my opinion would kind of defeat the purpose. If this was just sitting on game store shelves, this would sell so well. Like you just pull up there with your boys and you're like, yeah, we want to play Warhammer, but we don't have terrain. Y'all pitch in and you buy this. It's like, yeah, you just got a full table setup of terrain. Snap of a finger. The only thing about that is you still have to build it. Obviously, right? We went and we saw. Can I go back on this? Yes. Okay. You still have to build it. It's still on the sprue. It's not like what's it called? Battlefield in the Box. I think Battlefield in the Box is like pre-painted or whatever terrain that you literally just open the box and it's just there. Like it's just a plastic building, which is great. I think that this, for me at least, in my opinion, this just falls in a weird place in the middle. I just don't know. Just buy fully pre-colored, pre-assembled terrain, or just commit to doing it all the way. I don't know. Tell me what you think about that opinion. It's probably controversial, but it's probably going to be great for events. Back on topic, tournament consistency. You're going to have a lot less inconsistency, I suppose I'd say. All the terrain's going to look the same, possibly, depending on how strict the rules for this terrain end up being. So you might be able to metagame the specific exact height of blah 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 piece of terrain. I don't know. I think it's going to be a very consistent thing, and I hope that the very specific rule kit or the very specific kit won't be trapped to the rules, or the other way around. I hope the rules won't be confined to the one very specific terrain kit. Pre-painted Warhammer scare me. I don't like the concept. It feels like a slippery slope to me. And again, please comment and tell me what you think. I'm sure this is just me having a crazy controversial take, but where does this start and where does this end? At what point does pre-painted terrain turn into pre-painted ultramarines? And at what point did the pre-painted ultramarines just look better than half the stuff that your average gamer hobbyist can produce? And then at that point, when do people stop buying gray plastic miniatures for Warhammer? I don't know. I'm obviously I'm a lot of hypothetical scenarios, a lot of reaching, a lot of stretching for this kind of conversation. But if you're looking at new players that want to play the game Warhammer, and they're seeing unpainted versus pre-painted, a lot of people will probably just shell out whatever Games Workshop is charging for the pre-painted one if they're new to the hobby, just because they want to play the game, which I think shrinks down the painting scene for the community. But it also just grows the overall community, right? The more people can just pick up and play, the more people will be in the community and in the hobby. So wins and losses, we'll kind of see where it goes. Main question, everyone's probably asking, what are they going to charge for this? Obviously, there's no price leaks for this yet. It got leaked. It just got like flash revealed suddenly. There's no prices. There's no nothing. Is it going to be more expensive than the already overpriced Games Workshop terrain that we're buying? Or is it going to be the same price as the current gray plastic terrain that we're buying? And then the gray plastic one becomes cheaper? Or does this just completely replace the gray plastic Games Workshop terrain entirely? We have to buy pre-painted terrain now? I hope not. I like painting terrain, which might be a hot take. I mean, it's a little tedious, but I think that having the control over what your toys look like, it's important to me at the very least. So I'll talk about it real quick for anybody that's interested. Let me know if you want to see a video about how to paint your own terrain or something like that. But if they're gonna upcharge like a shit ton for this, you should probably just learn how to paint your own terrain. Or even if they reduce the price of the gray plastic terrain, yeah, you should just learn how to paint your own terrain. A can of rattle spray primer and a giant, like, goofy ass Walmart paintbrush will go such a long way. You guys have no idea. You could literally spray prime something with what's it called? Krylon. You do like Krylon dark beige spray paint. Spray prime the whole thing with that, and then do I don't know, like ivory dry brush with a big old Walmart fucking dry brush and apple barrel paints or whatever, and you varnish it. That could be really, really pretty decent looking terrain, as long as you're willing to invest the time that it takes, which it will take a long time. It is a little tedious to make that happen. Um, I like to be proud of the work that I do personally, so when it comes to terrain, even if it doesn't look as good as the perfect whatever UV printed Games Workshop terrain, uh, it's my terrain, and I'm proud of the work that I put into it, and it looks really good. Um, Plus, like I kind of mentioned earlier, you still have to assemble the whole ready painted terrain kit, and it doesn't look like one that you can just take apart like Legos. It looks like Games Workshop terrain on this brew that they just painted or like printed a picture of. So you still have to go in there, cut it all out with your clippers, try to smooth them down without scraping out the paint, super glue all that shit together. I don't know. I don't know. At that point, um, like I was saying earlier, just commit to it, full send, do your own terrain, or um, just buy Battlefield in the Box terrain, which it might not be made by Games Workshop, but it's probably so much cheaper than Games Workshop is gonna let anyone buy this for. So are you guys gonna buy it? Obviously, price permitting. I don't know. There's no price leaks yet. Are you interested in buying this? I'm gonna try this new YouTube like quiz thing. So if you're on your phone or on your computer right now, I'm trying to pop up a quiz to you. I'm sending a quiz. I'm manifesting a quiz your way. It'll probably just say yes or no. Do you want to buy this? Even especially right. Even though I ruined it for you guys by showing you the mold lines and the clipping marks, do you still want to buy this? What's the price for this type of kit gonna look like for you? For me, even looking at like those Kill Team terrain sets, very, very expensive for gray plastic terrain sets from Games Workshop for a half or a third of a full 40K tabletop's worth of terrain. So I don't know what it's going to cost to buy this terrain kit. If it's really a full 40K table worth of terrain that's pre-printed, pre-painted, whatever, it's going to be really expensive, and I'm really scared of what that price looks like. But I am curious, out of everyone watching, who is interested in buying this? Please tell me. Comment if the little quiz thing worked. Answer the little quiz. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching the video. Really, really terrible transition, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm still getting used to this. Go ahead and like and subscribe. One like is one smoothed out mold line on my terrain, and I'm saying this backwards. You know what? Fuck it. If you're listening to this still, one like is one smoothed out mold line on my terrain, and one subscribe is to save a Chaos Biker's life. Got those new Ork Warbikers out there. They just mogged our boys so bad, y'all. We're talking about Chaos Bikers from like fucking 1993 or whatever the hell. Hashtag justice for Chaos Bikers. Obviously, orcs are the new big, so whatever, but hashtag justice for Chaos Bikers. See you guys next time on Squiggonomics. Thanks.